There was an article published just yesterday in the female supplements section of the Mail Online, and part of the title of the thing is How Ordinary Mothers Are Being Sucked into Flat Earth Female Movement, which claims the world is not a sphere. And this has been penned by Jackie Devoy, and I'll leave a link in the comments section. Now, some of these women seem to be forming women-only groups, and they regard this flat earth movement as a male-dominated sort of thing. Now, ordinarily, I despise women invading male bastions, no matter what they are. But in this case, I say, you go girls, you take that movement over and just show us how daft you truly are. And I wonder about the guys who do currently apparently run this thing. Are they if they're not getting paid for it, then I just have them down as crazies. If they're making money out of it, that's a whole different ball game. But anyway, before I cover the article briefly, I'm just going to cover a bit of it. You take women and they see something that they perceive as being a male bastion, part of the dreaded patriarchy. They're downtrodden by it all. They must invade it and stop it oppressing them when it isn't. It's just men minding their own business, whether it's a sports club or a gentleman's club or whatever. Anyway, if it's male, it has to be invaded. So what the females usually do, now I'm not suggesting that's the case here, is they form an external group first of all, then they'll usually get themselves media coverage, and then the parasites, they break into the male bastion. The cowardly males at the top just give in to them. They're white knights, manginas, cucks, call it what you want. They cave into them, and then there's an infestation of them. They infest the place, and yet once they're in there, rather than accepting being treated as equals, they don't want equal treatment. They maintain their female-only presence, and they keep men away from them in that sense. Then they go to the males at the top. Then they start making all sorts of demands, special things for them, special things for that. I'll give just one example, and that was the huge influx of female, particularly Labour female MPs into the British Parliament, the lower house, in 1997 when Tony Blair took office. And he dragged in loads of women who'd already discriminated against men in their constituencies via courtesy of all women shortlists. So they're totally sexist anyway. And the first thing some of these women did when they got into Parliament, there was loads of them, I think there was about 36 of them, plus others. And the first thing some of them did was complain about everything they could think of. They complained about the hours, they had to work too long, they were unable to balance their political life with their family life. They complained about, I think they wanted a hairdressing salon automatically put in there for them because they didn't want the barber at the Parliament. Pay for your own fucking hair, for crying out loud. Anyway, that's just one example. I'm just going to cover this briefly. I'm going to go over time otherwise. Cindy from Arizona is a former NASA computer specialist, while Sarah Capewell from Worcestershire studies quantum physics in her spare time. So these are these female flat earthers. Well, I could study medicine in my spare time, but that doesn't make me a doctor. And the article continues. They're sensible, no they're not, well-educated women with families, that scares me, the families bit, the kind you're used to exchanging pleasantries with at the school gates. I don't think even most women are familiar with exchanging pleasantries with women who believe that the earth is flat at the school bloody gates. Loads of bullshit goes on there, no doubt. All sorts of talk, nasty talk about men. But anyway, it continues. Yet they're proponents of a conspiracy theory that the earth is flat. Amazingly, the theory is gaining momentum with their blah 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 with gaining momentum with women. I mean, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But I say, you go girls, form your groups, just throw the men out, take it over completely, show us all how silly you are. So flat earthers used to mostly be male, but recently there's been a fresh influx of women from all over the world becoming involved. Excellent, that's brilliant. The basic premise of the belief is that the earth is not a spinning ball in space, and according to flat earth disciples, excellent choice of word, disciples, that's what they are, because they have faith that the Earth is flat. They aren't interested in mathematics or the actual evidence. No, they have faith, and therefore nothing you say to them, they're brainwashed. And never has been any scientific proof of a globe Earth. Okay. And the women insist that the powers that be have lied about the shape of the Earth to hide valuable resources. I'm going to skip down quite a ways here. All right, I'm going to cover this as quickly as possible now. These are some of the flat Earth female beliefs. Oh, did I mention I'll leave a link to the article in the comments section, pin it to the top. Those who believe in the flat Earth model insist that the moon is not 237,000 miles away, but sits at about 3,000 miles up. Sits? The fuck it's sitting on. There is some kind of barrier, I see. So some call it a dome above the Earth, making the Earth an enclosed system. Also, the moon sits on the dome. And then the dish ran away with a fucking spoon. I don't know what these people are. There's no such thing as gravity. Let's let that sink in, guys. There's no such thing as gravity. Oh no, of course, it was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton. And, of course, he was a man, part of the patriarchy, and he was all part of this conspiracy. Was it a guy called Magellan who first circumnavigated the world or started it? And anyway, so Newton, full of shit, he says cannonball never travels in a straight line, mathematically provable, proves that gravity exists, and so on and so forth. I don't even know why I've got into the scientific basis of gravity. I mean, it's just... God almighty, what do they think keeps them down? Of course, men. Oh yeah, well that's why Sir Isaac Newton created gravity, to keep women down. And I was about to say if Sir Isaac Newton's wife had an apple fall on her head, but I don't think he ever got married, but if a woman was in the same position at the same time as Isaac Newton, and it's the same throughout history, and an apple fell on her head, she'd burst into fucking tears, and she'd think that the fairies in the garden threw it at her. Fucking women. Christ. One of the problems, I've just realised before I finish, that one of the problems of these women is that they do have families. So if you look at the whole article, they're mothers with children. And you mentioned the school guys. Just imagine that they have faith, and some of it, if you go further down, is based on religion and the Bible. If they're teaching their children this, and then their children, the other kids at school, find out about it, their children are going to be picked on and bullied. They may even end up committing suicide. I thought this was a bit of a laugh at first. I'm realising it's deadly serious. These women are fucking irresponsible. Anyway, I'm just going to finish by saying Sarah said that being a female in the male-dominated flat Earth would make her want to share what she knows with other women. Makes her want to share what she knows with other women. Oh, okay, Sarah, you share that with single childless women, because most of them are fucking idiots anyway. But stay away from the children, please. Anyway, comments below if you like, and thank you very much if you got this far. I'm not covering any more than that. Suffice to say, at least in the comments section on this thing, these people are being just ridiculed. So thank you.